Okay. I'm gonna call this video Team Pluto saw Star Wars because none of us saw this at the same time, and we're no longer in a car, so whatever.
We're trying.
What, did you guys...
Welcome to Team Pluto.
Did you guys go to different shows?
No, we didn't. It's just you didn't see it at the same time. You saw it yesterday morning.
Yeah.
And we saw it today, in the morning, and the theater was still fully booked.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Granted, it was we had to go up to Crown Point Arboretum.
Okay. Well, okay. First of all, that's not Crown Point.
It's Carolina Cinemas.
Crown Point's a little farther.
You mean Cinnabar?
No,
No,
the
Carolina Cinemas.
Cinnabar wasn't open.
Okay.
I had the time wrong.
See, you said Arboretum.
I did,
Mm-hmm.
and I was wrong.
Okay.
So we hurried our butts over to Sardis and Monroe.
Yeah. That's where we went yesterday, and it was dead for the morning show.
Wow! Really?
Yeah.
Our entire row was full.
You know why?
Why?
Because not everyone took off work yesterday.
True.
Damn.
True. So we did see the new Star Wars. Okay. It's a good movie.
It was great.
Go see it. Just go see it. And we're gonna spoil the shit out of it, so just deal with that.
Massive fucking spoiler tags.
Spoiler warning,
Yeah.
spoiler warning, everybody's coming to get me.
No, but you know what? There were definitely... It was like deja vu when you're watching the movie, like in probably the first,
Movie. The entire damn thing.
Yeah, okay. So,
Well,
basically, they open up on Rey, who is literally like watching Luke from when he was abandoned on Tatooine, only she's abandoned on Jakku. So, although I do think that it's a little interesting that they took some of like...
You did see the beginning of the movie, didn't you?
Yeah, the beginning of the movie was the assault of the stormtroopers.
Yeah. The beginning of the movie was a battle.
On Jakku.
Well, yeah, on Jakku, but then like it opens up into her after that.
Yeah, but it starts with a battle, just
You did
like...
say the beginning of the movie.
Oh,
and
you know what?
He's gonna
Okay.
nitpick you on the timeline.
That's fine. Okay, I meant like after the battle is finished. Although, the piece of map that gets locked into the BB-8, so reminiscent of the
Okay.
R2-D2.
I just want to talk about this
know
right
it.
now.
You know
right
it's
now.
true.
This is episode 4 remix. That is basically what this movie is.
If you guys would stop, this movie was designed to evoke the original trilogy. That is
I don't
100%
hate that.
what they were going for.
I absolutely do not hate it. It's more just like an observation. It was just like the feeling of deja vu when I was...
His point is
starting
they
to
were
watch
doing
this.
that on purpose.
Like, that is 100% what they were going for.
Yeah, that's why I said it's episode 4 remix. It's like the same general points, but in different ways.
Yeah, and...
In a good way.
Yeah, and...
This isn't just a cheap cash-in of a rehash.
It's basically just the
Unlike
next
that
generation.
Point Break movie that just got remade. Seriously, Point Break wasn't even that popular in the 90s when Keanu Reeves was in it, and they decided to remake it. Why?
Never heard of it.
It's not that good, and that's why I'm confused as to why they decided to remake it. Normally you remake things that people liked.
Well, I mean,
Or you
long
can just
story
start
short,
remaking movies.
I thought it was great. I mean, just before we really get into it,
I thought it was amazing.
I thought it was great.
I am the most conflicted I have ever been about a movie ever because I liked the movie. It was a good movie, but I still am not sure, apart from I liked it, what I should feel about it. I'm just... Maybe I can put it this way.
Well,
At no time did I stop seeing the structure of the pieces.
the problem is you don't like Star Wars.
I do like Star Wars.
He's just not as into it as you are.
No, I'm not nearly as into it. I love the first 3 movies. Love them to death. Love some of the games. But no, I'm not a lore hound. I'm not a prequels guy.
I actually really did enjoy the prequels, though.
But I couldn't stop seeing the structure of the pieces being moved around in the plot, and I couldn't stop thinking about like what this means, what this represents. I couldn't turn off the analytical part of my brain, except for a few action scenes. I really, really, really wanted to. I really wanted to tell that part of my brain to shut up and just enjoy the movie, like it did for Mad Max or Pacific Rim. When I was watching those movies, I was just in full fuck yeah mode. But I couldn't get to that place for this movie, and it was a little frustrating.
Sounds more like a personal problem.
It does sound more like a personal problem.
Again, it's because you're not as into Star Wars.
One thing that I really do
If you were on my level, you would have been able to let go.
Get
How
on my
dare
level,
you not
bro.
be on his level?
Get on my level, bro.
No, but one thing I really appreciate is the makeup, like just the whole design and makeup of the costuming and everything, and that they let like Han Solo and Princess Leia look as war torn as they should be. Like,
And
that was
Mark
one thing.
Hamill right there at the end is
Oh my
like, Mark, you got a bit of a
God.
gut going on here, bro.
Well,
Yeah.
you gotta think, he got old quickly.
Yeah.
well,
What are you referring to
yeah,
specifically?
quickly? How long? How long has?
Are you just talking about how Mark Hamill didn't age particularly gracefully?
Yeah.
Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
Okay. He was lucky they finished those movies before he started aging.
They didn't. The reason there's a 3-year gap between Star Wars and Empire is because of how much he aged.
He had to get back in shape?
No, it's more just like you could see it in his face.
No, I was referring to whatever.
I just thought it was great.
I
enjoyed it. It was good.
God, I'm just okay. The new characters are good. I like
Yeah.
Poe. I like Rey. I like Finn.
BB-8 is fucking amazing.
He's adorable.
I could. BB-8 was one thing that I'm just like, I am being cynically pandered to with cuteness, and I feel it.
It is so cute.
And he's not like aggressively cute. He's just sort of. He's not as
He's just
nearly
like
egregious as say the Minions are in terms of the cynically marketed cuteness.
No, okay, so it's
He's an excellent R2D2 replacement.
yes, but you know the R2D2.
Regardless of how stupid the ball design from a practicality standpoint actually would be.
I know, I thought it worked really well.
In terms of the actual
Adorable.
physics of him navigating his environments, no. But then again, this is a movie that has an entire planet turned into a sun cannon, so the realities
so-
of science kind of get thrown around a
That's
little.
kind of how Star Wars has always been. Fucking lightsabers.
Yeah, I mean, why don't they go on forever?
That is a good point. How many suns would have to be around that planet? Because that planet, unless it's
Yeah, I felt that was
That-
draining an entire sun. Wasn't the
Just
planet
for the
circling it?
Yeah, so does the planet just sort of
It
stop?
was more impractical than the Death Star, and the Death Star was very impractical.
I mean, really, just more out of curiosity.
The only
like,
benefit
how
to
that-
the star cannon was that you didn't have to get close to your target.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the main benefit. You could blow up an entire system of planets from the other side of the galaxy if you wanted to.
And that's just a system, not just a planet.
Yeah. So it's bigger and more boomy, but in terms of like how they actually managed to build it, in terms of how it navigates space.
Especially without the Empire's resources.
Yeah. Like the Empire had been around for a while. And granted, this is like 50. No, we'll go with 40 years after the last movie.
I suppose.
I'm just trying to make a guess based on how old roughly Ben is.
No, I would say Ben's probably in his 20s.
Yeah, but
we can assume they didn't
I would
immediately shack up and
say-
have kids.
Well, okay, you know, I would say he's got to be more in like his early 20s.
I would say it's
early to
probably
mid.
30 to 40 years, which would make it the longest jump we've had yet.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
3 to 4 was 20.
Yeah. But it has been a while. But yeah, so Rey especially is like a glorious combination of Luke and Han Solo from the original trilogy in one awesome person.
And
of
a bit of
badassness.
a bit of Anakin from episode 1. Natural pilot? Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah.
No, I think
mean,
that
I
that's
guess
really,
she's
she's
flown
not so
things.
much then, okay, if you're making that jump, then she's not so much Han Solo, it's more just that she's got her, I would say, she's definitely Luke's daughter, just, you know.
Yeah,
I definitely
I'm with you on that theory.
feel that, like, cause,
Then
the, like, if she wasn't Luke's daughter,
Well-
the, like, lightsaber wouldn't have affected
Well,
her so badly.
that
and,
she's that strong in the Force and she's a natural pilot. 3 things that
yeah, and it
I
just sort of
Anakin's-
like a generational thing.
I'm with you on this theory. This theory is very plausible. But if that theory is true, then Luke is a terrible father.
Yeah.
Luke is awful.
that is the problem I have with it.
But
Luke is
Jedis
just the
were
worst.
never
And
Jedis have never like
He was.
Does he know that?
No, he was a new brand of Jedi. He
That's the
didn't
thing.
have
No.
all that preconceived shit.
But you know what?
Plus, that
I
means he
also
has
would
to have
love
had
to
a
know
wife.
who Rey's mother is supposed. No, not necessarily. I mean, there is such
You
a
really,
thing as
you
just
really think
shacking
Luke
up.
would have just been that kind of guy? If he
I
is that kind of guy in terms of dad material, then maybe.
Okay,
I mean, he
so
was always wrapped up in his head when it came to the other movies. So I would say, yeah, it would be entirely possible that he started having feelings for someone, but he wanted to open up like a
To the
new
Force.
generation of Jedis and want to, you know, train everybody and make everybody better and thus make the world better. So he kind of forgets about like.
I wanted more Poe. There needed to be more Poe. There better
There
be.
did.
There better
But-
be more Poe and
There
Finn
will be the
Brogus
next more in the
movie.
next
Yeah.
one.
But okay, so the thing about Luke, it's interesting because, like, okay, in the expanded universe, he gets married to someone who was trained as an assassin under Darth Vader,
What the fuck?
and they met because she was trying to kill him.
Oh, see, no, I didn't like. Go
So-
to the
Survived assassination attempts. Ultimate aphrodisiac.
So, like, the weird romance thing is totally plausible. But see, and that brings me to one of my points with this movie. That was basically an apology letter to the EU fans.
What?
Because Han's son is evil. Has Luke's son's name,
Ben.
That
and
was Luke's son.
In the
Yeah.
expanded universe.
in the expanded universe, Luke and his wife had a son named Ben.
So basically, they've been sitting on a whole bunch of mollify the EU spoilers that they just haven't revealed because it would kind of spoil the fucking movie.
Yeah. Like, okay, do not say mollified. This is a compromise.
Fair.
Well, what if Ben is not really Leia's
He is totally.
Han?
Why would they not know
That would be pretty.
Leia pushed him out of her.
Yeah, he.
I
No,
never
They
know.
should know.
No, see,
That's not necessarily.
this is them compromising. This is them saying, okay, look, we like some of the stuff. We're gonna incorporate it into our universe. Because their story destroys other parts of the expanded universe. The Jedi Knight series of video games are completely obliterated by this movie.
Which is a shame, because I liked those.
Yeah, but they're completely obliterated by this movie. Unless they try to say that they take place after this sequence of events they're setting up.
Mhm.
But
No.
but the games took place too close to return for this.
Yeah, that's my point. No.
So, I mean, unless they try to stick them in there, but whatever.
Well, they're not going to do that, man. Okay. I've heard complaints on the internet that Rey is a Mary Sue too badass character. And I'm like, okay, no, you're only saying that because you don't like the idea that the main character of a Star Wars movie is a girl. Shut the fuck up. However, she did develop Force powers a little too easily.
So did Luke. So did Anakin.
Okay, Luke spent the entirety of movie 1 and the beginning of movie 2 figuring out how to draw his lightsaber to him. Rey, with like the length of this movie, realizing she had connection to the Force, outpulled a trained Jedi. Now, granted, he was
well-
injured and isn't a fully trained Jedi, but still.
And traumatic
They're
events
cousins.
accelerate that kind of thing.
But yeah, I
Okay,
think
but
just
my
the fact
point
that,
is,
like,
she
Like, okay,
she
perfect
picked up
example. Perfect example. Luke should not have been able to just use the Force to hit the Death Star. It should not have been that perfect. He was completely untrained.
I figured he was just using extended senses. But, look, I thought she developed specific Force powers a little quickly. Like, the whole thing where she managed to resist being mind probed, I'm like, yes, that is excellent, that's good. She's got strong Force powers, but then she mind controls the guy. I'm like, she's never seen someone do that. Why would she try that? And then the
She heard the
Force pull was fine, huh?
Did you hear the stories?
well, yeah, like
Maybe,
this
but my
girl
point is
grew up.
that is reasonable. But my point is they didn't establish that very well. But you know, that's a minor nitpick. That's the only nitpick I really have about the way this movie was arranged.
Yeah.
The girl is living inside of like an old, what are they called?
AT-AT.
Thank you. But she's living inside of one of those.
What does that have to do with her using force powers?
So she has heard the story.
That
she
does
knows
not mean
all
she has
about
heard
it.
the
That doesn't mean she's heard the stories, but
But she does talk
But she
about
knows
the stories
that-
of the Jedis are true. She does say that on
right,
occasion.
but because she's in a place where there's a lot of gossip, and of course the old stories would filter down.
So I'm okay. So I would have been absolutely fine with her being like, I've heard stories like I heard stories that Jedi's could control people's minds, and I was like,
But
No,
if
but
she'd
she
been
didn't.
like,
She didn't try and do that until after she touched the lightsaber. She didn't try.
that
and
makes
use
the
any kind
lightsaber an annoying MacGuffin of
Yeah,
power giving.
yeah, no,
That's
of-
worse.
No, but I think that
no.
experience pulled it out of her.
Plus,
I don't think so.
I don't like to invent reasons for
Yeah.
stuff to make
No,
sense
no,
in movies.
no.
That's the filmmaker's job.
Yeah.
It's their job to make the movie make
No,
sense.
I'm with Alex on this one. That is the one bit that I feel like you can explain it,
but I shouldn't have to do that work for them.
right. Well, and I mean, like we've established that she
Probably heard stories.
She heard the story.
It's very likely.
But for her to catch it on the first or second try is a little.
But it was funny seeing her talking to the stormtrooper and drop your weapon and drop my weapon.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
know what? With the stormtrooper, though, she didn't get it on the first time.
No, but
Well, but
She had to
my,
kinda-
my point is that is one of the most difficult techniques a Jedi can do. Like,
I would imagine that's really tough. Like force pull, that seems fairly like come to me.
yeah, that's why I totally buy that.
you can
because-
visualize that in your
because
head.
pull is one of the first things a Jedi learns.
Or lift or push, whatever.
Yeah.
Moves shit.
Mind trick is on a whole other level. Like, if you notice, Obi-Wan didn't try mind trick in episode 1 because he couldn't do it. He had
Qui-Gon tried it.
Yeah. Obi-Wan had no idea how to do it in the first movie. In the 10 years after he learned how, but
So,
it's not easy.
but that's a nitpick.
Yeah.
That's a nitpick. The stormtroopers are much more characters in this movie, which is good.
And I love how much emotion and
Humanity.
how much we can see from Finn in that first scene without his helmet off.
Yeah.
Like with full
He's like
on.
The blood across his mask. It's
like-
brilliantly handled.
He conveys so much without seeing his face.
My friend died. I can't fire on these helpless people.
Yeah.
It's all very well done, and it's all happening in the middle of this action scene where Kylo Ren is being like a badass. Kylo Ren is a good villain,
Oh yeah.
utter badass.
You do kind of get the idea.
And the fact that he's underneath that all a confused mopey son doesn't undermine his badassery.
No.
Which
Yeah.
kind of happened to Anakin in the prequels. Kind of undermined it.
Yeah, but that's
But that was before he was full of Vader. My point is that if you felt that having emotion would have ruined Darth Vader's badassness,
well,
it doesn't.
it's not that he
think
had
it's what
emotion; it's that
pushes
he
him
was a
to-
whiny little bitch. Like Darth Vader having emotion was one thing; him being a whiny little bitch is another.
Like, there's a great moment where Kylo Ren finds out that something went wrong, and he just pulls out his lightsaber and just
He just
goes
has a
to
tantrum.
town
Yeah,
on the goddamn
console.
console in front of him. He just wrecks that thing, and you can tell the guy's like, please don't look at me, please don't look at me, please don't look at me. The guy who delivered the bad news is like, just keep beating that thing up, just keep beating that thing up, please, not me.
Not me, not me, not me.
Like
No,
how
but then
Vader
the-
killed
yeah.
like 3 subordinates in the second movie. He's just like, you have failed.
Chink.
Bet you didn't know I could do that through the view screen, did you?
Well, see, and that's one thing I like that they did because, like, that's one of the things that like Vader had emotions, but you didn't get to see them.
Because James Earl Jones was just rocking that voice
Well,
so
not,
hard.
not only that, but
No, but
they
it
focused
humanized Kylo Ren.
they focused a lot more on the super badass thing.
Yeah.
In some of the other stories you see, and then a story that's accepted by Lucas, mind you, you see like Vader's like trying to heal himself with the dark side, and it's actually working. He breathes for like 2 minutes like a normal person, and he thinks about Luke, and the hatred goes away, and it drops. So it was nice to see. What I'm getting to is it was nice to see a dark side character still having emotions and using them.
It's a human experience.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I was not impressed by the big hologram on the chair this time, though.
No, you know what? I kind of at first I was thinking like, what the hell? This guy's like huge, and then finally, you get the idea that it's a hologram.
Yeah.
But can we just go back to Kylo Ren's the second time he has a tantrum, and those two stormtroopers start walking, and they just turn around and they're just like.
See, that was another moment of the stormtroopers being very human. Because in this one, they're not clones; they're kidnapped
They're
and brainwashed
actual
child
people.
soldiers.
Yeah.
But the greatest thing
Which is
it
better.
makes sense to me because now they can be different heights.
Well, they were that in 4, 5, and 6.
But now we actually know what they are. In 4,
Well,
5, and
yeah.
6, they were just sort of a faceless army.
Well, in 4, 5, and 6, they were recruited, is what it was. But the thing is, the Empire's gone. People aren't signing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now they're kidnapping children and brainwashing them into being soldiers. Lovely. Very Nazi, the
Yeah.
First Order.
It
Very
Holy
Nazi.
shit! And then
Establishing
after
view.
that one speech that guy did, everyone raised their
Sieg
arm. I was
Heil!
like, holy fuck!
Been a lot of Nazi
I just
references
said Heil
lately.
Hitler on that
That's
one.
what. Well, that's kind of what they were going for with that.
I
shit.
know,
Did you
but-
see, did you see all the red?
Yeah, no,
It's like
I
a
got it.
communist
I got it.
Hitler feel.
My point is that, wow.
Okay, Hitler was not communist.
No, but it was like a communist feel and what they were wanting, but
No.
No.
it felt like that to me.
That
Then
was.
you are not clear on the communists.
Yes, I am. But still, I don't know, just with all the red, it didn't because there wasn't any kind
Okay,
of swastikas or anything like that. It didn't feel like Nazi Germany until they raised their arms, which is so cool.
I get that vibe from get go, but
I'm just conflicted because I really want to like this movie more than I do.
I feel like you'll like this movie when the second one comes out, which isn't really.
But that's the thing, I'm not hyped to see the second one.
I am. Holy crap.
We're seeing it. This is
Oh no, I'd see it anyway, but I'm not hyped. I want to be hyped. I want to really buy in, and I'm not.
See, okay, I'm the guy that when the opening crawl was going, I teared up because, damn. It's not even that the words were that moving. It's just my God, I'm seeing episode 7,
It's happening. They're continuing the story.
and it was good. My God, was it good?
But Kylo Ren is a really good character. She's the main goddamn character. I mean, this is an ensemble piece in the same way. Oh yeah, Rey. This is an ensemble piece in the same way the first 3 were,
Mm.
and then it's a bunch of characters all going about their business, all in favor of destroying. I'm surprised the New Order came up. Can we just talk about why this galaxy keeps getting evil people running everything?
Because they go out and seize the power while the good peoples try to spread power around.
I don't know. Just feels like they're fighting a never-ending battle against assholes with stormtroopers.
Kind of is.
Oh, I want more Phasma. The silver one.
Okay.
The silver stormtrooper. I liked her. I want more of her. They kind of just glossed over what happened to her. They made a reference to the trash compactors. There are trash compactors? Yes, there is. But then we don't see her getting thrown in. It's nothing. There's nothing. So I'm just hoping that there will be more of her.
See more of her.
Yeah. Or another one. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like they might have kept her around just so that there's a contrast between her and Rey.
Yeah.
Or Finn. I keep getting their names mixed up.
Who is Phasma supposed to be
Just
I
another trooper.
I just want to know. I feel like there is going to be some sort of backstory there.
No,
There's gotta be.
she's just a commanding officer.
That's sort of
But
disappointing.
I really like the new characters.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know.
I'm really interested to see how the next one goes. Now, I will say the scenery that they've chosen. I want to know where they filmed because some of the places was beautiful.
Although I will say, giving us the cliffhanger on an actual cliff.
That's so
That was kinda
funny.
funny. Hilarious.
I did I did notice the camera work was a little rapid at times. The
Okay.
bar scene, the camera didn't hold still enough for me to get a really good look at everything going on in the bar.
Although it did say,
And,
don't stare at anything.
Fair enough. But I'm just thinking in terms, because J.J. Abrams did the Star Trek movies as well, and if you've seen the Star Trek movies, they are just a mess when it comes to camera work. He's just like, lens flare, chunk.
I don't know. I think he was absolutely the right person to give this to.
Oh no, definitely.
Like
They had the soft wipes.
he captured what.
This is a great movie for the next generation of Star Wars fans.
Yeah, because J.J. Abrams captured what Lucas had in the original trilogy and what he lost in the prequels. And the reason he lost in the prequels is because he had a too big to fail mentality, and people were crybabies.
Yeah, no, people definitely hated them more than they deserved.
A week of Star Wars by the end of the Star Wars trilogy that they're doing now.
Are you kidding? Okay, we're gonna have
It'd be like
Lord of the
a
Rings
month
week,
of Star
Harry Potter week, Star Wars week,
The nerds have taken over the world.
basically. I mean, it's not as cool because now it's popular to be a nerd.
Well, then we counter with actually really fucking nerdy shit. Like, you can go into your Star Wars expanded universe. I can talk to people about the minutia of Russian and Japanese literature. If you want to be a real nerd, you actually got to invest the time into the minutia of the hobby. Board games. There you go. But yeah, nerdy stuff is definitely in right now, and anyone can be into it. That's fine. The fact that nerdy stuff has taken over the world, I don't feel has really expanded the definition of nerd. I just think there's too many people who like nerdy stuff and don't realize that doesn't make them nerds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like back in the old days, if you wore your Super Mario Brothers shirt to school, you were getting your ass kicked that day.
Which is weird because no one disliked Mario.
It's just.
It was just super different.
It was just a big flag.
Is there a doctor in the house? Yes, I'm a doctor. Well, then you're a nerd.
It was a little referencey.
Extremely referencey, but all the references were wink, wink, nudge, nudge to the trilogy.
Yeah, I was trying to picture them from the point of view of someone who hadn't seen the original trilogy or wasn't overly familiar with them. I was like, okay, so the chessboard turning on, that's just a funny little moment.
Right.
No one's gonna draw attention to that. Him finding the training sphere that Luke used, that's another minor moment. Maybe a waste of film because it didn't really need to happen, but whatever. It didn't stick itself.
Maybe there were just a lot of Easter eggs for
the
people
shit that made the Kessel Run in 14 parsecs?
12! 14. So touchy about that. Han Solo dying was probably the only person they could kill.
And you know what? It kind of made sense for him to die, but I didn't want him to die.
I imagine Harrison
worked
Ford
for
wasn't too thrilled with the idea of showing up
He
in
hurt
2
himself
more
on
movies.
this movie.
Well, and that's the thing is, I'm willing to bet Harrison Ford asked for it because he asked to die in Indy and the Crystal Skull and they told him no.
It's just Harrison Ford doesn't mind the fact that he's super popular because of Star Trek, but he doesn't necessarily Star Wars.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry, I talked too fast. He doesn't necessarily relish the fans' obsession with him either.
Well,
I mean, would
You
you?
can't have a stellar role as Han Solo and then expect people to just be like, oh, you?
I mean, he was a carpenter. He wandered into.
he had given up on acting, and then
he wandered into the auditions because a friend of his was theirs.
Well, not only that, but I think he installed the cabinets at Skywalker Ranch, and that's how he got the job in American Graffiti. But that was the other thing is, originally he wasn't supposed to be in Star Wars because George Lucas didn't want to give the image that he works with the same actor every time.
Yeah.
And he had just had Harrison Ford in American Graffiti.
Yeah.
So he didn't want him in there, but like that interview we saw, he needed another Han. The chemistry with Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford is what locked it in.
Yeah. Although I always felt that him and Leia was just perfect.
Yeah.
And in this movie, it's perfect. They're old.
Yeah.
They're old.
They're too tired to fight each other anymore.
But what
There's
I
a little snarkiness, but not that.
They're just so over
yeah,
it.
it's still Han and Leia, but you can tell that age has changed them, and Han has stopped trying to fight the hero thing.
Yeah.
He's just kind of accepted it at this point.
He's just like, fuck
So
he tried to run away for a while, but the moment he gets roped in, he's like,
all right, let's do this. It's like, wait, people are counting on us. The galaxy is counting on us.
That's not how the Force works.
Like, it's like, wow, that is kind of un-Han, but at the same time, it's believable because of how much older he is.
It was a very well-made movie, and the reason I'm just torn on it is because I couldn't unsee the pieces. I couldn't see it as a whole. I kept seeing all the pieces working and chugging, and it's not as it's still amazing that this happened, but it's the difference between seeing a car that sleekly runs down the road and actually watching the internal guts chugging away and making the car move. I could not see the guts of the car moving it.
I'd be totally...
No, that's cool in its own way, but the point is that there's no romanticism about the guts of the car.
Yeah, but most people weren't going for the romanticism aspect. They were going because they watched Star Wars probably their entire life growing up.
Now, one thing I will say is I was able to predict a fair bit. Like,
once I realized they were basically just doing episode 4.
Well, no, even outside of that, like, you know, I knew there was a lightsaber in the box. I didn't know which lightsaber it was, but I knew there was a lightsaber in the box.
What's in the box?
As soon as, like, early on, I was like, okay, Kylo Ren has got to be, Han and Leia's kid, and I will, like, be ecstatic if that's actually the case. They didn't give him the name I was hoping they would, but giving him Ben is good too.
It also kind of undermines his whole evil overlord. Evil overlord Ben!
Some call me Tim. Let's see, what else was it? As soon as I saw how good of a pilot Rey was, I said, okay, she's Force sensitive. You know, no doubt about that.
I mean, you kind of knew that, like, when they got pulled into that beam, pulled into that ship, that, like, it was gonna be Han and Chewie. Like,
what about that ship? That one's a piece of garbage! Alright, garbage it is! Why does everyone think the Millennium Falcon is junk when they look at it?
Because it looks like
Here's the
junk.
thing. The Millennium Falcon was a new ship before Episode 1.
Yeah.
Like, it was old when the Clone Wars happened. So, the fact that there's still one running around...
It looks
what
like
a piece of junk!
People. Yeah. But it works just so amazingly. I don't know, one thing I also liked is that they, and this is gonna sound dumb, but that they made Kylo Ren handsome. Like, he's got the mask on,
well, I mean,
so you get that illusion that he's trying to be Darth Vader. That's why he's got the mask on and everything.
Yeah, he was very much trying to channel his grandfather.
Which is why he had the mask of his grandfather in a little shrine.
Well, see, and what's funny is when I saw it, I for some reason I thought he said Iron Father because I just couldn't hear it properly. I was like, what? And then I saw what it was. I was like, oh, okay.
Grandfather.
Right. I don't know. I just thought
Father of Iron.
I thought it was interesting in that he doesn't, like, you kind of get the feeling he's going to have that same sort of, like, epiphany that Vader has. It's going to be like, in the last movie, he'll be dying. Well, if he survives, because you do see that sort of human... He's still human. He's not completely...
But that's...
dark side. He's trying really fucking hard, but...
That's the thing. He's a dark side tryhard.
No, I want to be evil. I wanna.
Basically.
It really undermines his whole, like, thing when you think about him at all. But that's the thing. When he's on screen, he is menacing as hell.
But see, and the one other thing that I was thinking of is the reason I think that the battle was, like, so... I don't want to say epic, but maybe epic. Between Rey and Kai is that because they're cousins, so they have, like, the same, like, level of force.
No.
Well, no, because if Kai is...
If he had not been shot...
That's the thing. He was shot with the bowcaster.
Which hurts.
Had already fought Finn, who probably shouldn't have done that well to begin with.
But again,
really, but I did think it was interesting, because in the past movies, they never really gave a lightsaber to someone who wasn't a Jedi.
That is true.
Episode 4.
He was training to be a Jedi, you know.
Not at that point.
Okay, but it was different. Like, I don't know. Like, the fact that like Finn was using a lightsaber for quite a good amount of time in this movie was definitely different.
Surprising that he was able to use the lightsaber that effectively. I mean,
so you get the idea that
he almost got his ass kicked by a stormtrooper with a shock stick.
Yeah, but
well, he was trying.
Well, but because
the effort was there.
Because that's a weapon they were trained on. A lightsaber is not.
But I did think it was definitely really interesting, and I liked the movie.
I'm ready to get on the internet and start getting into discussions with people about this because I really need to sort out my thoughts about this movie.
Yeah.
As you can see, because when I talk about it in moments, they are wonderful moments, great action moments, great beats, great character moments. It's just I can't make them all fit together in my head the way I want them to.
But I don't think they have to all fit. It's just.
But I want them to.
I think they'll fit in the next movie because this movie just seemed like it was. Kind of like the last movie, where it's sort of laying the groundwork.
The thing
this is what's going on.
You could tell, and the one criticism I have is that you could tell there were parts of it that felt rushed because they had a specific big plan they were going for, and they had to reach a certain point by the end of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So you could tell there were some bits that they kind of rushed through to get to where they needed to be.
Yeah, I feel Rey probably could have used a little bit more downtime as a character to really sort out her thoughts, and the movie just didn't have time. It wanted to have time, you could tell, but it just didn't have time.
Yeah.
Also, I was not super thrilled to see C-3PO and R2-D2 back. I was not.
Well, it made sense for R2-D2, but C-3PO, you kind of
Here's the thing.
They've had 6 movies. Can we give them a break?
Yeah, but here's the thing.
They're gonna last forever if they're well cared for.
Yeah, and they basically belong to Leia at this point, so there was no reason for them to not be there.
Yeah, I know.
I did find it interesting that, in the first set of movies, C-3PO had a silver leg, and now he's got a right arm.
Well, that was more,
It was a little distracting for me because I could tell that they had to get a slightly larger guy to go in the C-3PO costume this time.
Yeah.
And he had noticeably expanded.
Right.
But I don't blame him. I mean, come on. There's only so many people you can cram into a costume that fucking tiny.
Yeah. I think Chewbacca was very well done.
I agree.
Which, I mean, Peter Mayhew knows what he's doing, but
it's very hard to make Chewbacca come across as a character and not an awesome dog.
Well, and they did a great job with that because when Han dies, you see him go to full Wookiee rage mode.
He's just fuck everything.
Well, and that made perfect sense because, someone said to me they expected
Han and Chewie had been together forever.
Well, Chewie had a life debt to Han, and the Wookiee life debt is something that they take extremely seriously. But someone said they expected Chewie to just kind of curl into a ball and cry. That is not Chewbacca. This is the
What person do you know that thought that's what Chewbacca would do?
My mom.
Your mom needs to be talked to.
Because here's the and this is what I told her. Chewbacca is the character that when he died roaring at a moon crashing into the planet he was on.
And if the people behind the Star Wars movies know anything, they will keep that. That is, if you're gonna have to kill Chewbacca, fan favorite, kid toy favorite, make you shit tons of money character, you better fucking drop a moon on his head. It's the only way you're gonna be allowed to get away with that.
Well, just you really. I think when a character is in that much makeup or hair, or whatever, sometimes it can be really hard for emotions to come across.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's why I really loved how they did that. It was just.
Because that was exactly what Chewbacca's response should have been. It was everyone in this room will die.
If I had to say one thing that I feel is the perfect compliment for this movie, it was not a fucking toy commercial.
Yes.
It was not a toy commercial. Because, you know what, maybe the X-Wings got a little bit of a redesign, but the TIE Fighters were the same, the Stormtroopers are basically the same, I mean, the armor's been reworked a little bit, whatever. They were not trying to sell you toys.
All the changes...
It would make sense for the...
Yeah, I was all the changes made sense given the time gap.
Just
They were not just trying to sell
they
you
make it
toys.
better,
which is
it
good.
gets
The only
a little
toy
bit-
they were trying to sell us was BB-8, which I would totally buy.
Yeah, no, obviously, and of course they've got a whole new line of action figures, but that's what happens when you have new characters.
Yeah.
Oh, and I am going to vent here about this one a little bit. Apparently they're selling a set of Star Wars character action figures in a box set that comes with Poe, Rey, and like Kylo Ren, and then 2 nameless stormtroopers. Because apparently, including fucking Rey, the goddamn main character, is not a good thing to... Oh, she's a woman. You can't put her in a action figure box with other male action figures. You can't do that. I was like, oh my god, we've been over this toy industry. Did you not get enough of this when you were not including Black Widow in the toy sets?
What the fuck are you on about?
If you buy
I
anything
don't
made
even know.
for kids in like the Avengers line, it'll be Iron
Like,
Man.
yes, but
Black Widow won't be on it.
Right.
She has been like ousted from the toy line.
Yeah, I
for
know all
no
this.
goddamn reason.
but what are you on about with the Star Wars thing?
Rey is getting almost the same treatment in the Star Wars toy lines.
That's practically impossible. That'd be like cutting Captain America out of the Avengers.
That's why I said almost the same treatment. She's getting her own unique line of toys, of course, but the point is that you can't just go and buy like a set of the main characters, and because she won't be in it. You can get Poe, Finn, and Kylo Ren, and like 2 other guys in one box together. Why the fuck would you include generic pilot stormtrooper instead of Rey?
That's a good question.
So, but that's just my vent. The people who run the toys are fucking morons, apparently.
I mean, it is the same people. It's Disney.
Because I guarantee you that there are going to be a lot of girls who love Rey.
There'll be a lot of guys that love her. She's a badass.
Oh, yeah. I was going to make a point about how she was probably, like, not made up, but too clean-faced for someone who's been living on a desert planet their whole life, but you could say the
Not
same thing
really.
about Luke
Yeah.
when he was a kid, so I was
See-
like, you know what, I'm not going to raise that point.
They were kind of dirty in episode 1, but
But my point is, like, clean-faced. Like, a person who's lived in
Yeah.
a first-world nation and has been taken care
yeah.
of.
Although I'm calling it right now, she's gonna wield a double-bladed lightsaber.
Oh, yeah, no, the whole stick thing? I
she's
noticed
gonna
that.
make it.
That was a very small thing that I noticed in her fighting style. She really liked the thrust. She kept going for the thrust.
Yeah.
Which is an unusual choice with the lightsaber.
But with a double-bladed lightsaber, that's one of your best techniques.
Yeah.
You know what? I think it's gonna work really well, especially since Kylo Ren has
The Claymore lightsaber.
yeah. And it just works. Nice.
Exhibit A.
Exhibit B for 8.
I mean, obviously she's gonna give Luke
Alright.
back his. And then,
We have
If he
spoiled and talked about all the little details that we love about this movie. There needs to be more totally awesome Poe pilot guy, because him and Finn
Well-
are just like the best buds of all
Yeah.
time.
Well, and I think the reason there was so little of him in this one.
Well, there wouldn't have been room.
Well, not only that,
that and they thought he was dead at first.
but that's for the big reveal at the end.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But no, I get why he wasn't in this movie. My point is that the little time we had with him made me want more.
Yeah.
More.
Please, sir, can I have
And
some more?
definitely some more BB-8.
So,
Love that robot.
So cute.
I mean, I want to see the next one, but I'm not hyped. I'm very torn on these movies, but they're good. Go see them. They're excellent. They give you a lot of stuff to think
I'm
about.
so hyped.
If you don't like these movies, you're just a joyless person, and I want to talk to
I'm
you.
so hyped.
I don't want to talk to you if you're like, no, these are bad movies. If you legitimately think these are bad movies, I don't want to talk to you because you're just wrong. If you don't like them, that's different.
No, it's amazing.
I mean, hey, some people didn't like Guardians of the Galaxy, which I don't understand either, but apparently they exist.
I can understand people not liking Guardians.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if it wasn't your type of humor.
If it was your type of humor, if you're not a super big Chris Pratt fan, which is, a lot of people.
I think we've had our good couch discussion.
Yeah.
Do we want to do previews? I don't feel like doing previews.
I
I got Zootopia, Captain America: Civil War, and what was the other one?
You should have gotten
there
X-Men
was- well, there was a
Apocalypse
Fallout.
X-Men Apocalypse. That was it.
and
Oh God,
Fallout.
I'm so excited.
Well, that was a commercial. There's a
Oh.
difference between a commercial and a preview. It's a
And-
subtle difference, I'll grant you, because they're both advertising.
what else did we have? It sounds like you got the same ones that I got.
We got in order X-Men Zootopia, which was funny as hell with the sloth.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting anything from that movie, but if they've got the brilliance to do the slow sloth laugh face, which is a brilliant gag, just funny as hell, I
Yeah.
might have to see that. And Civil War, which I was going to see anyway.
Yeah. Definitely think Civil War.
There's just a whole.
And you know what? I'm glad I finally saw this because it was getting a little annoying trying to avoid spoilers and not seeing the previews all the time.
Mm-hmm.
See, now I gotta go back and watch the trailers.
Oh, you already saw the movie. Trailers are just little bits.
It's just gravy.
Yeah, but I want to see what the presentation of the trailers was.
They were pretty good, actually. I would say. I mean,